Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Bitcoin Dialogues featuring BEVM, Satoshi Protocol, and Coral Finance. At DIA, we've seen that the Bitcoin landscape and the number of teams developing and building products within this exciting landscape is growing very fast. And we see this as a very interesting wave of innovation and a prospect for growth. And so as we partner with more Bitcoin-related dApps and chains, and we see all of the very exciting growth that's happening within this sector, we look to expand our presence within this sector, and we've launched this series to bring visibility to the Bitcoin landscape. This helping both us and anyone in the audience and the community who's interested, of course, to better navigate all of the rapid growth that's occurring within it. And so today we're very honored to kick things off and be joined by Jhon, who's the core builder of BEVM, Kaz, who's the COO of Coral Finance, and YQ Huang, who's the co-founder of Satoshi Protocol. It's really going to be a great session today. Really great to have you all with us today. Thank you for joining, and thanks for everybody in the audience who's tuning in from wherever in the world you are. We're looking forward to the discussion. So maybe we can just kick things off with a quick round of intros. Before we even get started diving into the projects, the exciting projects you are all building and contributing to, maybe can we just go into like quick details about each of yourselves and how long you've been working in the crypto space? We always like to start with a little bit of background. So maybe Jhon, we can start with you, and then we'll pass it over to YQ and Kaz. Jhon, over to you. How's everything?
Okay, everything is fine with me. Hey, hello. Yeah, and thanks for the invitation from DIA Oracle. Yeah, so here is the brief introduction of me and also our team. Actually, we have been in crypto for many years. At first, in 2016, we started to build the demo of CBDC for government. Yeah, and then we helped another team created a public chain in 2017. Then we left the team and created our core team, and we started our journey on Bitcoin Layer 2. So the first project we created by ourselves, named ChainX. It is a Wasm compatible Bitcoin Layer 2 based on Substrate. So at that time, the Polkadot ecosystem is very famous, and ChainX is one of the top projects on Polkadot. Yeah, and at that time, there's no fundraising. It is a community-driven and just for fun project. However, more than 100,000 Bitcoin has been bridged from Bitcoin to ChainX. It is a very huge milestone for us. However, there are still two problems we need to face. The first is that there is no taproot, which means we can just take custody of users' assets in 11 Bitcoin addresses. We think it is very dangerous for both users and also ourselves, and also it is very centralized. The another problem is that there is no ordinals, no BS20 tokens. So the market, they don't realize the potential of the Bitcoin ecosystem, especially Bitcoin Layer 2. Yeah. And then in 2021, at the end of 2021, the Bitcoin network has there is a taproot upgrade happened on Bitcoin network. Yeah, and there contains three BIPs: Schnorr, signature, master contract, and also TypeScript. So we just updated all of the core codes based on Schnorr signature and the master contracts. So briefly speaking, now if you use BEVM, there are about 1,000 decentralized custodians to take custody of your assets. It is much more decentralized and much more safer than before. Yeah, and also when we withdraw assets from layer 2 to layer 1, the master contract will automatically realize the withdrawal and also the signature. Yeah, so that's the brief introduction of our team. Yeah, actually, we have been Bitcoin Layer 2 for many years. So that's also our biggest advantages in Bitcoin Layer 2. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jhon. That's amazing. I can tell we're in for a masterclass today. I didn't know that you were actually working at ChainX before. For anybody in the audience, just to reiterate, ChainX is the Polkadot native, Wasm compatible Bitcoin blockchain. And so really interesting to hear the reasons why you transitioned over into building BVM, given the limited or the no access to Taproot and the BRC20 assets. So really already highlighted some topics that I'm excited to get into today. And for anybody in the audience, we're going to break down these terms and dive a lot deeper. But on topics of intro, maybe I can hand it over to YQ. Could you give us some background on yourself?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Perfectly.
Okay, I'm YQ, the co-founder from Satoshi Protocol, and my background is a software engineer, and I joined the crypto industry more than 5 years. So I'm a developer in smart contract, protocol design, the app development, and some DeFi protocol. So I enjoy in Web3 every day, and I'm very optimistic about the future of DeFi and crypto and the Bitcoin fight in the near future. And I believe that the crypto will change the world. So yeah, I think it's a very briefly introduce of myself.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you, YG. Really happy to have you as well. Excited to hear your perspective from a dApp builder, as you mentioned, a background in developing DeFi protocols as to what attracted you and led you to build on Bitcoin. But let's move it on over, and maybe we can get an introduction from Kaz from Coral Finance.
Hi. It's such a great honor to be on this AMA today. Yeah, a bit about myself. My background is basically in computer science. I've been in the IT industry for close to about 20 years, but I transitioned to blockchain probably in about 2017. Started off with training for about 2 years, and then I got involved into a few projects, mainly projects that deal with cross-chain projects based on Kusama and Polkadot before getting into Web3 and DeFi projects. I joined Coral Finance late last year, and I'm excited to share with you guys what we have in our bag. Back to you. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kaz. Again, highlighting, interesting to hear how there's synergies with the background in Polkadot and Kusama on the call within these Bitcoin teams. Actually, very interesting because I know that there are some other teams building in the space with a background in Polkadot and Kusama. So I'm curious if this is just by coincidence or if there's a pattern here that we can dive into. Maybe if we have time at the end of the call, this can be one of our roundtable questions. But I definitely want to stick to the agenda so far because we have a lot to dive into. We've done a quick round of intros on each of your projects. I want to take a quick moment here to dive into a few questions about BEVM and address really, what this space entails in terms of building smart contract platforms that ultimately scale and can settle onto Bitcoin. And then we'll bring in the dApps to hear from their perspectives why they found this vertical or this new sort of landscape enticing for them to build their products. So, Jhon, maybe we can start with you on this question. Let's take a look at BEVM, which is an EVM-compatible Layer 2 blockchain built on top of Bitcoin. Can you tell our audience, Jhon, what is the vision for BEVM? You actually gave us some insight that you already have a history in building Bitcoin-related blockchains. And so, what really has been the inspiration for you all along in building on Bitcoin? And why do you find that Bitcoin and applications that, or rather chains built on Bitcoin, are such an opportunity for you and your team?
Okay, cool. So at first, I remember that in 2016, we would like to build. Actually, we always would like to build something really huge and can change the world. So at that time, there is some developers. They told us that it is very hard to build some applications based on Bitcoin because it is not Turing compatible. Yeah. So at a time we would like to do something which can change the world based on Bitcoin. And then in 2017 and also 2018, we started to get a connection with Cosmos and also Polkadot, and then we think cross-chain is a very huge narrative because each chain is just like isolated island. So we would like to connect them. And then there is a thought. Why can't we just connect Bitcoin with other chains? Then we want to exploring the possibility of a bridge between Bitcoin to other chains, and that's why ChainX just produced. At first, we just want to build a bridge, and then we think, oh, Polkadot is at that time. Polkadot is the best technology in our substrate is the best technology in our minds, and Polkadot ecosystem is also the most excellent members. And we also think Bitcoin is the only domain in the crypto. So how can we get connection between these two ecosystems? So we would like to build a layer chain based on substrate, and this chain can also be a Bitcoin layer 2. Yeah, so that's that is ChainX. Yeah, so that's our and actually our vision is always to make Bitcoin available. Yeah, and then after build ChainX, we would like to explore how we can build a let me think. Sorry, a very famous and also a very blooming ecosystem, Bitcoin ecosystems on ChainX. However, it is very hard at a time. Yeah, and then we have learned from Moonbeam, because Moonbeam, it is also on Polkadot ecosystem. However, it also supports EVM ecosystems, and Moonbeam is a very successful user case in our minds. So from Moonbeam, we learned that we not only we need to do a Bitcoin layer 2, but we also need to do an EVM compatible Bitcoin layer 2, because most of the users, assets, and also developers, they are in Ethereum ecosystems. So the best approach to achieve the users and build a very strong community and ecosystem is to attract the users on Ethereum. So we would like to build an EVM compatible Bitcoin layer 2. So that's why BEVM. Yeah, and as you can see, we have also been other projects, and each of the projects is very interesting, focusing on the cross chain. Yes, so so that's why we created a BEVM, an EVM compatible Bitcoin layer 2. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And one thing I can definitely attest to from the DIA perspective as an infrastructure provider is the importance of access to tooling that the EVM compatibility offers on these Bitcoin layer 2s. So we definitely, at least from our perspective as an EVM based DApp, and I'm assuming the same with the DApps on the call today as well. This is super important for us to make it easily accessible for us to deploy on chains such as BVM. Let's stick with you, Jhon, for one more second, because anybody, we have a huge audience today, bigger than most of our calls, I'd say, just this early on in the space. And I think it's reflective of, one, the excitement surrounding the teams that we have on the call, and two, just the excitement around this space in general. I think everybody's really interested to see all the teams that are building in the Bitcoin landscape right now. And it's hard to argue that there's not a ton of momentum and a lot of teams that are building and making promises. But as an interested, as a person myself who's just interested in this space, sometimes I find it hard to navigate the difference among teams. And so from the BVM perspective, I'd love to hear Jhon, like, how are you guys differentiating yourselves amongst the competition? How can people like myself and people in the audience compare and contrast the different, let's say, like L2s that are being built on Bitcoin?
Okay, cool. So actually, in our minds, the biggest differences between BEVM and other Bitcoin layer 2 is that we are the most focusing on technology. So you can see we have been in crypto for many years, in Bitcoin layer 2 for many years, and we always want to build something huge, long term, and can change Web3. Yeah, so that's what we are always do. No fundraising, but keep building in Bitcoin ecosystem for many years. And as you can see, our competitors, most of them, they are very hurry, and they would like to launch their token maybe just in 2 or 3 months. Yeah, so we think it is not a great, it is not a great a great thing for a builder to build a long-term projects. So for us, the first thing we would like to do is how to ensure the security of users' assets. So that's the most important problem. For example, you are a Bitcoin holder, you have many Bitcoin, and you want to experience Bitcoin ecosystem. The best choice is to bridge to a Bitcoin layer 2. So the first thing you need to think about is which is the most decentralized and which is the most secure Bitcoin layer 2. For BEVM, we realized that based on Taproot, yeah, and we have already, it is just not talking about. Yeah, we have already finished the coding, and we have already finished the audit, and we are also planning for the mainnet launch just tomorrow. Yeah, so then users can directly bridge their Bitcoin on BEVM and exploring it. Yeah, actually BEVM is the only Bitcoin layer 2 which based on Bitcoin script, and also based on Music 2, and based on Bitcoin SPVs. Yeah, so this is our solution. Yeah, and actually other competitors, most of them are also very early teams. They haven't been in Bitcoin layer 2. They just joined into the market because they want to build something very fast. Yeah, so their solution is actually, most of the solution are very centralized, and it is not safe for users' access. Yeah, so that's the biggest differences. We focusing more on the technology, and they focusing more on maybe marketing or operations. So the next step for us is to just incubate excellent team and also excellent projects on BEVM, and use these projects to invite more, for example, liquidity or users assets coming to BEVM, and then they can find that, wow, BEVM is a very interesting ecosystem. So, and then they will love BEVM. So that's our strategy. So that's why, as you can see, Coral Finance and also DIA Oracle and also Satoshi Protocols, these are all of the partners, and also the very excellent team built on BEVM. Yeah, thank you.
And thank you, Jhon. We are super excited from the DIA side to be partnered with you guys in supporting, within our role as an infrastructure provider and in providing oracles. A huge congrats in advance on the mainnet launch tomorrow that you mentioned. I think anybody in the audience who's listening, probably their ears perked up a little bit when they heard that. And I appreciate your background and the insight in that, that's exactly where I was coming from. We see that a lot of teams are building very fast in this space. And you shared with us some of the concerns and risks that we should look out for in terms of centralization and risk, and promise versus actually delivery. And so that's definitely going to be one of the themes that we help to navigate with our community and the audience on these Bitcoin Dialogue sessions. I know that Satoshi Protocol and Coral Finance are here as well, and I really want to kind of start to switch into bringing them on the call and getting them more active here. So sorry so far that we've been diving into so much BEVM, but also I think it's a great start and a great precedent to start with the chain, and then we'll dive deep into the dApps as well. So I just want to ask one last question towards you, Jhon, just a quick question, and then we'll bring in Satoshi and Coral from their perspective. We see that across ecosystems, some chains are optimized or optimal for certain types of dApps, right? You have some ecosystems that focus on, let's say, gaming. You might have others that focus on NFTs, some, that are primarily DeFi oriented. When we look across the Bitcoin landscape, and specifically BEVM, is there a specific type of dApp that you think is, will particularly benefit from building in the Bitcoin landscape? Or is it more so open? And what are really the arguments from your perspective, or the reasons why dApps would prefer to build on Bitcoin and on BEVM? So, Jhon, I wanted to bring that one over to you quickly, if that's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Actually, in our minds, some protocols which native based on Bitcoin will be much more attractive. For example, Satoshi based. It is native based. A native Bitcoin. Bitcoin stablecoin. For example, you can directly deposit the Bitcoin and then borrow stablecoin. And also the Coral Finance, they are doing they are doing derivatives based on Bitcoin and also inscriptions based on the tokens, such as these protocols. We think they are much more attractive. Yeah, and then also these protocols, we think they can be very huge, but and not only focusing on BEVM. Maybe they can explore to all of the Bitcoin layer 2, and also including the Bitcoin network. For example, so as you can see, so as you sorry, as you can see, just use Satoshi Protocol as an example, right? The stablecoin as you can see now, the most used stablecoin is USDT, USDC, and also DAI. Whenever in our minds, Satoshi Protocol have the potential to reach and even over this stable coins, because it is native based on Bitcoin. And then the next step, the Lightning Network, it can also be Satoshi can also use Lightning Network to do some payment in Web2 world. It is also a very fantastic narrative. And also Satoshi can do RWA, or it can just build based on Bitcoin network. So these are very fancy applications. So with in our minds, the Bitcoin ecosystem projects will be similar, but not the same as Ethereum's. They will have a bigger, and also they have the larger potential, than Ethereum ecosystem. So that's that's the opinion.
I love it. And really, this is one of the things that excites me so much, is like the new types of innovation, the new innovative types of applications that we'll see when, at the intersection of building on Bitcoin and EVM. So I think that's a perfect transition to bring in and hear from Satoshi Protocol. As you referenced, Satoshi is a CDP, otherwise meaning a collateralized debt position protocol, and introduces the SAT asset, SAT, which is a Bitcoin collateralized stablecoin. So super interesting here. Can you share with us from the Satoshi Protocol side, Kaz, making sure Kaz is Coral Finance, YQ. Could you share with us from the Satoshi Protocol side, why did you decide to build a CDP that's collateralized by Bitcoin? And we already heard a little bit from Jhon, but how is this different from other CDPs across other ecosystems?
Yeah, sure. So Satoshi Protocol is a CDP protocol on collateralized debt position, such as MakerDAO. Maybe people is familiar with MakerDAO because it is the most famous CDP protocol in DeFi. So the most different is user can leverage Bitcoin by Satoshi Protocol to mint the stablecoin sets. The set will be the stablecoin used in Bitcoin DeFi. In the past, everyone's impressions of Bitcoin may be just a simple peer-to-peer payment. But after the tech-proof upgrade, everything is different. Building DeFi on Bitcoin will be possible. For example, like BEVM and EVM compatible Bitcoin layer 2. People can deploy the smart contract to build many applications on chain, just like building DeFi on Ethereum or another Ethereum layer 2. But we can build on Bitcoin now. And Satoshi Protocol will also be a pioneer. And so we are very exciting to we will launch on mainnet tomorrow, the same with the BEVM, and we are also very appreciative to BEVM. Our mission is to be a cornerstone in Bitcoin DeFi, an engine of Bitcoin DeFi. The Bitcoin is no longer an idle asset. People can start to leverage his Bitcoin as collateral to mint the stablecoin set for many purposes, like payment, or it can be used in another DeFi, such as Coral Finance, and we are also the early partners. So Yeah, we will utilize the Bitcoin by Satoshi Protocol, and Satoshi Protocol will unleash the trillion worth of the Bitcoin. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think it's super interesting as you referenced, like making Bitcoin no longer an idle asset with semi limited, or rather with limited DeFi utility, and opening up the entire floodgates to opportunity here. Another thing that stood out is how you're partnering with already other protocols like Coral Finance and going to market with BEVM. And so I definitely want to get into, when we have some time next, in the next section, to kind of address the partnerships and the collaboration that's occurring in this space versus the competition that might be occurring in this space. But as you referenced, really interesting to look at Coral Finance and how the SAT stablecoin is integrated in Coral Finance. Kaz, can we move it over to you and take a look under the hood at Coral Finance? Really, we already kind of referenced, or YQ just mentioned, that Coral Finance is a derivatives trading platform that innovates premium trading, as you guys phrase it. Can you share with us really what this means? What is premium trading, and what are all the the products and services that Coral Finance offers?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. A very interesting question. Instead, I get asked on that question a lot. For premium trading, basically, I generally introduce that what premium trading is and what this protocol mainly focuses on. I want to add something to it. Specifically, premium trading actually consists of 4 processes that are what we call core tokenization, add liquidity, core token trading, and unlocking. Core tokenization is basically one of the main processes of premium trading, where users mint core tokens by staking native tokens at a 1-to-1 ratio. However, the core tokens received are locked right after the casting, and we can it can only be unlocked once certain actions are completed, such as liquidity provisions or core token trading. The purpose of this is to add liquidity, which is quite straightforward, in the sense that users add liquidity to the core token liquidity pool to gain access to unlock their leveraged returns. In other words, premiums. However, we make a difference in this part, that the users need to only add single-sided liquidity instead of dual-sided that most protocol use. In this way, we can tap into the efficiency, and it will be a faster process. Then there's core swap. Core swap is where participants trade core tokens, what we call in third market, because it is actually a brand new market where users trade new asset class. So whenever users get their unlocked tokens, they could trade on core swap. Lastly, unlocking, the process that allows users to unlock core tokens that they cast in core tokenization. The premise is of this unlocking is for the users to have to provide liquidity in the pool. There are many techniques around the premium trading, so I suggest you try that. Check out our Twitter or X, and I think we on roadmap we are launching sometime this year as well. So again, we have good partnerships with BEVM and also Satoshi. On why we choose to deploy in BEVM is because of several reasons. And number one is technical expertise, as you rightly mentioned just now. The team boasts remarkable technical background, with key members having years of deep involvement in public blockchain space, and they were also one of the among the initial core builders of the Polkadot network, demonstrating their proficiency in blockchain development. I think, in terms of coming back to BEVM and the Bitcoin ecosystem, I think there's a lot of new developments that are coming up. Stuff like inscriptions, BRC20, and so forth. And I guess starting this year, I suppose there's a lot of interest from institutional investors, traditional institutional investors as well, especially after the SEC approved the Bitcoin ETF. So I think there are a lot more innovations that are happening in the Bitcoin ecosystem, layer 2 per se. That's why we choose BEVM as our as team partners. So yeah.
Thank you, Kaz. I want to stay with this right here for a second and come back to you, actually. You mentioned a bunch of interesting things. Thank you for breaking down, really what premium trading consists of, the four primary criteria. And one of the things you mentioned were like the different types of assets. You referenced BRC20 specifically. I think I'm personally super interested in, the intersection between BRC20 and ERC20 and how that's going to look on protocols like Coral Finance in terms of users' ability to trade these assets, to lend and borrowing, to do other types of DeFi applications. So, Kaz, what is your guys' outlook on adding new tokens and support for additional tokens? You mentioned that users can mint core tokens. What does this really mean? Is there like a whitelisted group of tokens that users can access and mint? And ultimately, will you consider or do you have plans to add BRC20 support?
Oh yeah, definitely. BRC20 is part of our roadmap. I think when BRC20 was announced sometime late last year, we got into that bandwagon, and we are pretty interested in inscription. And we've been scanning the market as well, and there are a few interesting projects that are built around BRC20. One of which was the I think it was a library catalog where they capitalize on the BRC20, and also a music catalog as well that's coming out. I think that's pretty interesting development in the BRC20. You rightly mentioned how interesting how BRC20 and ERC20 are going to merge. I think this is something that for me and for BEVM as well, since we've been working with Polkadot before, and Polkadot is all about multi chains and trying to interconnect chains per se. So I guess in terms of BRC20 and ERC20, the development road is still a long way to go, but just looking at the possibilities on, like you rightly mentioned, on the lending and borrowing on DeFi, I think that is something is huge. It's going to be huge, and it will disrupt the whole ecosystem, I believe. Back to you, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kaz. Super exciting to hear, how you'll be adding support for these types of innovative assets. This is one of the things, again, that is so most interesting to me about this space is like really new types of innovation that we have not seen possible anywhere else in any other time before, using, Bitcoin as like the basis of where this is all really fundamentally being, I guess, executed on the final, on the base layer, and really just like on top of Bitcoin. Super exciting stuff here. One question, I know we're running a little bit towards I guess the end of this session, so maybe we can jump through the last three questions rather quickly, and whatnot. But one thing I wanted to ask each of you guys is really, again, referencing this idea of collaboration versus competition. So we heard from Jhon in that this space is, being built fast. There's a lot of people who are rushing to market. And so, for us on the audience side, I guess one of the important things is really navigating who's building for longevity in purpose versus who's building to catch, the narrative and the hype of the moment. So I want to, reflect on that and think about that in reference to this question, and how you guys are looking at collaboration with other teams. And YG, I want to start with you because you mentioned that the goal for Sats is to be the cornerstone in Bitcoin DeFi. really, what does this look like from your perspective, YQ? And how are you and your team navigating and deciding which other chains or which other ecosystems you want to provide Sats in and enable access to Sats within?
Yeah, so of course, I think we will become a leading stablecoin in the Bitcoin ecosystem because we will be the first stablecoin, or you can say the CDP protocol in Bitcoin. So our stablecoin set will be, we want to make it like the role of the DAI in the Ethereum ecosystem. So if you buy the crypto or using each DeFi, and you will need to use the set our stable coin. So we will integrate with many DeFi protocols. So in day one, we also integrate with the a DEX. So people have some liquidity to trade this stable coin. You can buy our stablecoin set on the DEX, and you can provide liquidity on the DEX. Yeah, so yeah, our vision is we want to building the biggest stablecoin protocol in the Bitcoin ecosystem, and the set will be the stablecoin in the Bitcoin ecosystem, like the DAI in the Ethereum ecosystem.
Thank you, YQ. And I want to stay on this question here and hand it over to Jhon as well. Jhon, one of the products that BEVM is building is in fact a bridge to connect BEVM with other chains and other ecosystems. Can you share with us the vision for this bridge? How do you see BEVM connecting? Will it be a select number of L2s? Will it be as many and all relevant Bitcoin L2s as possible? Can you share with us your stance towards what your goal is with the BEVM bridge?
Oh, okay. So actually, I'm not sure which protocol you are talking about because I think we have two or three relative products about a bridge. The first we would like to release it named BEVM stack. Actually, it is just like Cosmos SDK. We would like to launch a standard for other Bitcoin layer 2s so that the developers and also the other builders, they can directly launch their own Bitcoin layer 2 with one click, just based on the BEVM stack. You can also regard it as Bitcoin layer 2 as a service. Yeah, that's the first part. And the second, it is OmniBDC. OmniBDC, it is another brand we created in 2022, focusing on cross-chain swap and cross-chain lending. Yeah, and now OmniBDC is open for all of the Bitcoin layer 2s, and now it is integrating with Malinchain, BitSquare, and also it has integrated with BEVM. Yeah, there is a financial and business model of OmniBDC because it has cross-chain. It has cross-chain lending. So we think maybe one day users can directly deposit their Bitcoin on Bitcoin network into OmniBDC, and then they can borrow any assets on any other chain, including Ethereum layer 2 and also Bitcoin layer 2s. And also they can deposit assets. For example, they can deposit assets on Arbitrum and then borrow set on BEVM. Yeah, such as this. So that is OmniBDC. It is open and very interesting cross-chain protocol. And the third part is DBFX protocol. Actually, we will launch it maybe at the end of this year. It is just a plan. Yeah, it is more like CCTP. Yeah, which enable native USDC bridge between many chains. and also the DBFX protocol is similar with it, which enable native Bitcoin on BEVM to be bridged to any other chains. Yeah, for example, as you can see now, most of the Bitcoin relative assets used on other chains is wrapped Bitcoin. However, everyone knows that it is released and issued by centralized institutions. And if you check the data, you can see that just a little institutions now they are minting the wrapped Bitcoin, and most of them are burning the wrapped Bitcoin. Yes, and also once the biggest dangerous points is that it is very centralized and it is not safe. However, if you use DBFX protocol, for example, you can bridge Bitcoin to BEVM, then bridge the Bitcoin to other chains, and then you can start your journey on other DeFi protocols. For example, on Arbitrum, you can directly in Uniswap buy some BEVM BTC. Yeah, and then you can withdraw them to BEVM and withdraw them to Bitcoin mainnet. Yeah, so that is another narrative. Yeah, so this our relative bridge products based on Bitcoin and also based on Bitcoin ecosystems.
Thank you so much, Jhon. I thought that was such an exciting and really interesting part there. You shared about the different functionalities of the bridges that are being built within the BVM ecosystem, and how this will enable cross-chain utility and composability among other chains. Again, this kind of gets back to one of your first points that you mentioned on the call today, which was at Chain X, that you referenced, there wasn't necessarily the ability to do this, right? To be connecting with other EVM ecosystems, and the ability to, I guess, deposit like an ERC20 asset and access it on the actual Bitcoin L2 itself. So really interesting to kind of see again how the development of these different bridges relates back to your vision and your goal for building out BVM. Super cool insight, and really exciting in terms of like the question at hand here, which was about what types of collaboration we're going to see in the future within this sector of or rather within the Bitcoin landscape. Really, really exciting. I know we're running low on time. Let me hand it over to Kaz. One quick question for you, Kaz, on this topic. I mean, as a trading protocol, how are you looking at this? How are you looking at collaboration versus competition? I assume it's the more assets you can support, the better. But how are you looking at deploying your DApp on other chains, or really do you plan to stick with BVM and build out your positioning in that ecosystem? I think it's relevant for you as well, because when it comes to trading, liquidity is of the essence, right? So you need to be focused on ecosystems where you have strong liquidity and where you can build out a strong community of traders as well. Over to you, Kaz. How are you guys looking at this one?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question as well. We actually look at collaboration as a very important tool for us. We're not gonna keep a silo operations per se, because that will only limit ourselves to a low liquidity opportunity. So we look at different types of partnerships with different partners as well. So with regards to BVM, what they're trying to do, what interests us, because they are trying to connect with a lot of chains. They are into the cross chains platform. So we with that, regardless on which chain you are on, it doesn't matter. The liquidity still flows into the trading platform as well. So we look at things on like Bitcoin DeFi, tokenized Bitcoins. There's something that we're looking at. Of course, with BEVM as well, the cross-chain bridges, as we mentioned earlier, and also layer 2 solutions for Bitcoin as well. So these are the things that we look at in terms of partnerships with different projects. I think that's all for me at the moment. Yeah, back to you.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you for that, Kaz. I appreciate that perspective from your angle as well. One last discussion round of questions here to wrap it up. Again, thank you everybody in the audience. We've had a really attentive audience today, holding strong numbers all throughout the discussion. Thank you to the teams who joined us today and are sharing about these really exciting products and projects that they're building. One last final round. I want to go around and ask the three of you. What is each team looking, or what are each of you looking forward to the most regarding either updates within your projects themselves, or just basically looking forward to the most as we see this Bitcoin landscape evolve? So I want to leave it open-ended because I know Jhon and BEVM are launching mainnet tomorrow. So I don't want to just give too easy of a question for them to say maybe they're just most excited about mainnet. I think that would be a pretty obvious one. But yeah, Jhon, if that's not the case, right? If obviously, sorry, if that is the case, other than within your project at BEVM, what are you looking forward to most as we see the Bitcoin landscape evolve? Let's start with you, Jhon.
Okay, so besides the mainnet launch, the most exciting and the looking forward for us is the BEVM stack and also the DBFX protocol. We think these are very huge narratives for the whole Web3, yeah, and also the Bitcoin ecosystems. Yeah, so that's the point. And if you are talking about the Bitcoin network itself, we are also very looking forward to Ruins protocol. Ruins protocol.
Which one is it?
RUNES. We think maybe Ruins will be the ERC20, just like ERC20, yeah, but based on Bitcoin network. It will be the standard of Bitcoin asset insurance. Yeah, we think Ruins is also another thing we are looking forward. Yeah, on Bitcoin network.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've actually only heard of Runes once before, and then I saw it a couple times on my crypto Twitter feed here. Maybe that's a question I should have added to the discussion. Interesting. Thank you for adding that, Jhon. I think that's some homework for myself and anybody in the audience to look into Runes as well. A lot of these big players in the Bitcoin space are starting to talk about that. You mentioned it's sort of like can you actually break that down a little bit more? So it's like this ERC20 kind of standard for Bitcoin assets. Is that how you described it, or what do you mean by that?
Yes, I think they are the most important. Maybe they are the most. It is the most important token standard. Yeah, Ruins protocol. You know that Cassie. Cassie launched the Ordinals launched the BRC20, and the third protocol he would like to launch is Ruins. Yeah, so we think Ruins maybe it will be the best.
Super cool. Some alpha today on the call. Some unreleased or some cool stuff to look forward to and to look into. Thank you for sharing that and really what you're looking forward to, Jhon. Handing it over to Kaz at Coral Finance. What are you looking forward to most as it relates to either your project or the Bitcoin landscape at large?
Yeah, definitely. Of course, first and foremost, I would like to say good luck to BEVM and also Satoshi on the mainnet launch tomorrow. And of course, we on Coral Finance side, we need to keep pace with BEVM's ecosystem evolution and the construction and connecting of more ecosystem projects that would leverage on our premium pool protocol. That's one. And also, we are going to enhance our product iterations, boost the platform's total value lock, and the position premium trading as a groundbreaking application in the DeFi industry. That's the second one. Thirdly, we are looking at also exploring real world assets tokenization or initiatives. So I'm sure that's going to open a new can of worms. But yeah, having said that, we have formed a strategic relationship, or rather strategic partnership, with Sun Fund Group, which is an international investment banking and brokerage firm. So our ongoing exploration includes tokenizing bonds and stocks and integrating them into our premium pools as well. So yeah, so that's on Coral Finance side. Back to you.
Awesome. I wanted to also, within this round, I forgot to add, so I'll bring it back to you real quick, Kaz. Anybody who wants to get in touch and stay up to date with Coral Finance, what's the best way for anybody in the audience today to take a next step in either following you guys or joining the community and starting to test out the product?
Yeah, we have a great community with us. Check us out on our X or Twitter account, and I think we also have a few community groups as well. We are set to launch our Coral Lantis event section, which features a variety of engaging tasks where users can complete these tasks and participants can earn points and potentially receive Coral airdrops rewards along with BEVM ecosystem benefits. This opportunity is not to be missed. It's an anticipated this launch to be next month, hopefully early next month, and then we will coincide that with BEVM mainnet launch. So stay informed with our official Twitter and join our Telegram group as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Again, loving some more, perspective alpha here in the chat. Thank you, Kaz, for everything you've shared today and the perspectives you've offered. YG, over to you at Satoshi. What are you looking forward to the most? And anybody in the audience who wants to take next steps with Satoshi Protocol, what can they do?
Yeah, I think what we are most looking forward to and what our community is citing is that we also will launch mainnet tomorrow, and we will be the first protocol launch on BEVM and the first protocol to integrate the Oracle on BEVM, and also the first CP stablecoin protocol backed by Bitcoin in the world. So yeah, I think this is very exciting, and in addition, we will start a referral campaign after the mainnet launch, so you can earn the point by invitation using your referral code. And in the near future, our token pre-mining will be start soon. So it is a fair mining. So the earlier you join, you will mine more, like the Bitcoin. So for more information, you can follow our Twitter. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Excellent. Thank you as well, YQ, sorry, and super exciting to hear that you'll launch first on you'll be the first protocol to launch on BVM tomorrow. And of course, from my side, super happy to hear that you'll be the first protocol to integrate DIA oracles on BVM, as DIA oracles are offered as a public good on BVM. So any other developers who are listening, feel free to reach out to us as well and get in touch if you're interested in utilizing oracles on BVM. I want to just toss it over to you, Jhon, one last time because I didn't get the chance to ask you. Mainnets tomorrow. How can we get it? How can anybody in the audience start their journey? Either today or tomorrow. They want to start on mainnet and really start to get involved in the community. This is the perfect time to do so, I would argue. How would you refer them next steps?
I refer them tomorrow morning. I refer them to directly bridge their Bitcoin from Bitcoin network to BVM mainnet, or bridge their, for example, ETH from Ethereum layer to BVM and start the journey. Actually, tomorrow we will launch some exclusive NFT free mint, maybe, yes, and also the Satoshi Protocol, the Coral Finance, they will launch day one on our mainnet, and they are also preparing for some exclusive rewards. I think maybe later they will also share more about it. Yeah. So, and also in the next few weeks, stay tuned. We are preparing for many interesting companions and exclusive token rewards. Yeah.
Awesome. So much exciting stuff to come here. So much has already been built, and so much is on the way. I'm really happy that we had such a great long chat during the first Bitcoin Dialogue session. I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to come and share of what they're building and add some insight into what's going on behind the scenes. So I want to say thank you again to BEVM, Satoshi Protocol, and Coral Finance, all three of you guys for joining. We really appreciate it. Super excited to take the discussion, online here and to support you guys from the DIA side and to continue collaborating. So at that, these are my closing thoughts. So much more exciting stuff to come. This is just the first episode of Bitcoin Dialogues. Thank you everybody in the audience who listened in today. I think this was a really strong audience all throughout the call. Again, just demonstrating the excitement surrounding these three teams and the Bitcoin landscape in general. So much alpha and more to learn as we continue this this journey exploring this new landscape together. So thanks again, everybody. Have a great rest of your days, and we'll see you all online, and take care. Thank you.